Good morning and welcome. My name is Nina Moser and I am the Vice President for College Advancement here at Southern Vermont College. Thank you for joining us this morning to mark a new and exciting chapter in our history. It's my pleasure to introduce Dr. David Rees-Evans, President of Southern Vermont College.
Thank you, Nina, and thank you all for being here. This is going to be a great day. Today, Southern Vermont College and Southwestern Vermont Healthcare are excited to announce a strategic alliance that extends our long-standing friendship and collaboration as I've said before, Putnam Everett institutions anchoring this corner of Bennington. CEO from the SVHC, Tom D, and I have been working together for several years to strengthen Bennington, notably, most recently on the Putnam Block project, and together we have increasingly understood the local landscape of educational and workforce development needs that are at the core of this new affiliation. This affiliation creates significant new opportunities to attract students seeking careers in nursing and in the future in other healthcare professions and providing them with first-rate career opportunities. It builds on the exceptional leadership of Dr. Mary Botter, who you will hear more about in due course, in strengthening and advancing the quality and success of our nursing program. We also seek to provide educational and career advancement to those already employed at SVHC, which is very exciting, through collaborative programming, starting with SVC's RN to BSN program, and to improve patient care and employee retention. A key goal is to educate students at SVC, move them to employment at SVHC, and have them settle in our area. And I will put on my Chamber of Commerce Vice President hat here and say that one of the most important things that we all can do for Bennington is to attract and retain young people to live and work here in town. Our strategic partnership is an excellent example of how leading institutions can come together to create synergies for a better Bennington, and it's my honor to be a part of this collaboration and my pleasure to introduce to you Tom D, CEO of SVHC.
Thank you, David. And it's great having the partnership that between our two institutions. David and I have been working together for a number of years now, and two fine institutions, two pillars in this community. And I think what we're trying to do is something that really has been done rarely across the country. Oftentimes, probably never in a rural setting like we are in Bennington. And that's taking an academic institution and a hospital, a health system, coming together and really forming an affiliation for as David outlined, to help to educate and train people, young folks in the world of healthcare. And what makes this work is really people. And one of the principles of this affiliation is the formation of a shared leadership model. And certainly to my right here, I have two people that are really going to help make this affiliation work. We have Dr. Mary Botter, who is currently the chair of the Division of Nursing and Health Services at SVC. She will become the new chief nursing officer of this affiliated entity that we're creating. And also up here is Sheila Boney, who will take on the role as becoming the associate chief nursing officer of SVHC, and will also become the associate chair of the Division of Nursing and Health Services at SVC. So we have two exceptional leaders coming together, working as one in terms of having our organization really come together and foster a partnership. And this type of arrangement, you see this in the academic medical centers with a lot of universities and large colleges, but again, rarely would you see it in the size of an area that we have here. And part of the reason for this affiliation is to really address a growing crisis that's affecting our healthcare system. And some of the studies have said by the year 2025, there will be 500,000 vacancies for nurse positions across the country. So what we're trying to do here, and just to bring this closer to home, over the next 3 years, I think the predictions came from the Vermont Business Roundtable that there will be about 3,000 vacancies in the state of Vermont. So our two institutions are trying to get ahead of the curve. We're trying to address this by working in a collaborative way. At SVC, the average age of our nurses, God love them, they're 55 years old. So they're certainly not getting younger. And we know that over the next few years, we'll have vacancies probably in the area of 50 if we don't take proactive steps now. So that's really what helped to drive my discussions with David a few years ago was, how can we address this problem? We have a very valuable resource in the college here, outstanding program. Some of our best nurses have graduated from SVC, but how can we accelerate that? How can we create this relationship and really maximize it? And then as David said, we're putting on our economic development hats. How can we attract young students to come in this program, and also people who want to go back into education, attract them, give them an opportunity to go to a fine college at SVC, with the ability to have their tuition paid for. If they graduate and they come and they work at Southwestern Vermont Healthcare. And we've been doing a lot of work with our teams on that. Kevin Dilly from our organization, who's our VP of Human Resources. And we think we've come up with some pretty creative solutions in terms of making education at the college affordable, making it attractive, and then when students who graduate, give them a career track to come and work at our institution. And if they work for a certain number of years, have their loans forgiven, and they'd be paid by the hospital. So I think this is a win-win. I think it's an opportunity for two institutions really to work together and to really create something that's very special. And I think it'll be something that other hospitals and colleges across the country will look at and probably try to emulate. So thank you for being here. This is day one of this very exciting relationship, and I'm sure we'll be here to answer questions. Thank you.
So both Tom and David are available now for questions if anyone has them. And if not, we will all be available, both executive teams as well as Tom and David, to answer questions privately. So please come forward. Otherwise, we welcome you to stay and enjoy the cookies in the back and some community and fellowship. Thank you so much for joining us today.
I just want to make sure we address the goal across the country and out of state to the BSN programs, really growing our nurses into BSN programs, and how important.
Yeah, the question is relating to the fact that there is a growing problem across the country that there's a need for more BSN degree nurses. And at Southwestern Vermont Healthcare, for instance, I think our number is somewhere in the area of 40% of our nurses have their bachelor's degree. Many of them have their associate's degree. So one of the goals and one of the nationwide visions is to eventually get to the point where across the country, 80% of the nurses who work in the hospital will have their BSN degree. So this is a facilitated way to help to address that. We realize that's not going to happen overnight. It's going to probably be a vision that's going to take us 5 to 10 years to hit those goals, but this is the type of program that will facilitate young folks getting their degree and eventually getting their bachelor's degree. And I know the college is going out of their way in terms of being creative in terms of online programs that make this as easy as possible. Thank you. Any other questions before we hit the cookies? Okay. Well, we're certainly here to answer questions privately, but thank you all for coming by for this announcement. Thank you.